Hello, Jamie here from Inky and Scrappy, sharing with you today card 2 in my card series featuring Lawn Fawn's Hive 5 card kit. Today I am focusing on that beautiful stencil in the kit and trying to make it the star of my card, or the more focal point of the card. I started by using that pop-out Hive piece and putting it close to the center. I didn't measure. Let's be honest, that takes time and patience. And I usually have very little of both. I did, shift my stencil down there a little bit. I probably should have used pixie spray. I own it. Have I ever used it? That would require me to go outside. And my allergies are not in the greatest place at the moment. Yeah, that also requires time. So I did just end up shifting the stencil as I added some more color with those other layers in the stencil. This pattern was super forgiving for all of those little whoopsies. And then to cover them up further, after I added in my darkest shade here, I spritzed it with some water and let it sit, and then picked up the rest. So the colors that I used were Mustard Seed and Wild Honey and Rusty Hinge in Distress Oxide inks for my ink blending over that stencil. It is my favorite honey combination until you see one of my future cards. That will probably be my favorite combination, but it does not look like honey at all. I will show you how I colored my traditional honey today. So I start with my darkest tone on the outside, and then I come in with my medium tone for my next layer, and then using the lightest one going over, and then the center, and making sure to go over with your next lightest color over your darker colors. It helps them to blend better and makes it more of a smooth transition. I couldn't decide on what colors I wanted to use for my accent, and so I ended up pulling in this lighter aqua tealy shade. If anyone knows what the difference is between aqua, teal, and turquoise, please let me know. I'm guessing it's just a shade thing, or maybe one has more green or one has more blue. I don't know. I suppose I could look it up, but I don't really want to know that bad. So I'm doing the same thing with this one, doing darkest to lightest, and allowing that lightest highlight to be on the center of my jar makes the illusion of a round object. For my bee trail here, I'd actually cut them out first, and then I laid the stamp inside of that die cut, pick it up with my Misty Door, and then I place that die cut shape back in there, and it gives me the best result for those skinny style stamps. Otherwise, my trails never stay on the die cut piece, or they're way off. That has been what I found the best. So while I was playing around on my desk, I realized that the frame from the shaker tag that comes with this kit fits around that center spot perfectly. And so, of course, I had to frame in my little image. And so you will see here, thinking about cutting it on my little cutter here. My only gripe with that cutter is it does not have a 5.5 mark, because it could have a 5.5 inch mark, or a 6-inch mark would even be nice, but it doesn't. And so if you're like me, and I can eyeball it sometimes, but for this one I didn't want to eyeball it, so I did end up having to take it off camera to my 12-inch guillotine cutter. And then I will add the bee on with some foam tape to basically make it even with that frame that I had added. I think I added 2 extra layers of cardstock cut out and behind. And then I stamped my sentiment on a piece of scrap cardstock, cut it out with a die from, I think it's an Avery L sentiment strips. They're I don't know. There's just so many sizes that they just come in handy. They're my favorite sentiment style strips. And then I'm going to kind of try to line this up because obviously my eyeballs did not make it straight. I ended up taking out a L ruler. And then because my B trail goes off to the side, I kind of wanted to bring in that honey stick and give it that same off to the side effect. It kind of gives you a diagonal line to follow or for your eye to follow. I don't know. It's what looks good to me. And I ended up using a piece of textured cardstock from Fawn. I think it's in the aqua shades. I could be wrong. I think I ordered aqua, or it was teal and turquoise, or aqua and turquoise. I'm pretty sure it was the aqua set. Hence why I have no clue what the difference is. One is a little shade darker, but is it just the, I don't know. So to conserve that cardstock, I like to cut out the center. Nobody knows that it's missing but me, well, and whoever watches this video now. But it saves on my expensive cardstock like that. And, you know, I like to conserve pretty cardstock. And so this one is very simple. So I did bring out some embellishments. I am horrible sometimes about adding embellishments, but this one I thought needed just a little bit of something. And I thought about bringing in that turquoise or teal color. And I just didn't like how I thought it pulled away from that honey pot. And so I ended up going with a boiled sugar clear heart from Trinity Stamps instead. I liked the sweet simplicity of those clear hearts. And then off camera, I did add a little bit of glitter to the bee's wings because, you know, it had to happen, right? For the inside of the card, I brought in that thanks for being sentiment from the stamp set and then added the awesome from the Totally Awesome stamp set from Fawn. And then, of course, we needed to coordinate with a little character on the inside, so I pulled in one of the bees and just stamped that next to my sentiment so it brings the front of the card inside of the card. So there is the completed card for today. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for all of my subscribers, commenting, likes, all of those things. If you've yet to subscribe, please consider it. It will alert you when new videos go up on the channel. And please keep getting inky.